Hi, I'm Deanne Moore, and we are wrapping up day 3 here at the annual meeting of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. Joining us today, we are lucky to have Dr. Al Ali, Dr. Wesley Wilson, and Professor James Frame, all the way from the UK. Thank you so much, doctors, for joining us today. Let's start over here with you, Dr. Ali. I know you were presenting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we had a panel today on buttocks or behind projection, how to increase that, especially in patients who lost a lot of weight. So the number of people that were on the panel, some felt that fat injections were the best way to accomplish that, and another group of the presenters felt that you should rotate some of the tissues that you would throw away ordinarily when you're lifting the buttocks into the butt to create more projection. So it's kind of a little bit of a give and take on that, which way is better, that sort of thing, and it was an enjoyable interaction.
Very good. And Dr. Wesley Wilson, talk to us. What's been the highlight for you here at this conference?
Well, the best thing about these conferences is you get to go and see what other people are doing. You add to your practice, or you also decide there's things you're not going to do, that those things just won't work for you, that you've tried it, it doesn't work for you, and even though someone else may have success, they just don't work for you. So it's a give and take where you say, this is great, I'm going to do that, or I don't want to do that.
No, that's true. That's good. And Professor Frame, all the way from the United Kingdom, is this your first time here?
Nope. I've been coming at least the last 10 years.
Wow. Now, what makes this event so special for you?
It's size, it's diversity, the people. I think I've travelled to quite a few countries in the world, to the national societies, and this is by far the best.
So now you said you've presented and then you've gone to different things you're learning. What has been your favorite presentation outside of the ones you've given? What have you learned here?
Well, there's an opportunity to go to smaller sessions. Some of the sessions have maybe 1,000 people in them, and in some of these smaller sessions, there are some of the latest research is presented, and there's one paper that was presented on gummy smiles, or people when they smile, they lift their lips up a little too high, and it kind of makes so you can see their gums a lot. And usually it's pretty drastic operations that are done to fix that problem. But the researchers presented a very simple technique that's done under local anesthesia. And it's not very often in plastic surgery that you fix a huge problem with a very small procedure. This was quite innovative, and I really enjoyed seeing that.
Professor Frame, do you have a favorite presentation, or have you learned something new this time?
Yeah, I think Al's been a wee bit sort of modest on this. I think his presentation and the whole session was very, very good. It's something they were doing which we don't do too much in the UK, and I picked up a load of things. And one thing that's probably not really that much heralded was well, there's two things. One was people that have lost a lot of weight don't tend to have that much fat to graft, so I didn't quite get into the questioning about where would you get the fat to do the grafting if you didn't have it. And the second was if you operate on patients that are BMI 35 plus and you liposuck them, you don't actually, although you reduce the volume and the weight goes down, you don't actually reduce their risk of diabetes or cardiac related disease. So you know, you can actually mask maybe some pathology ongoing by doing liposuction in overly weighted people. And I thought that was a major point today.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Do you have a highlight from your conference outside the golf course? Something here with plastic surgery?
Well, I've learned I need to watch the Plastic Surgery Channel.
Very good. That is a good thing. We're glad to have you all on board.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just wanted to, talk a little bit about those massive weight loss patients. I think they're an interesting group because they've worked very hard to lose their weight, and some of them get down to a pretty darn good weight and they're very easy to take care of, but some are still very heavy when we get to them, and they're a much tougher group to deal with. And sometimes in dealing with them, or maybe the patient dealing with you as a doctor, they think, well, you can just fix everything. And in reality,
is that what you mean when you say that's a tougher group?
It's a tougher group because they have problems that are not as easy to fix, and even if you do your best, you can only get to a level that's decent. You can make them look better. Yeah, right. So what we've learned over the years is that you have to adjust the patient's expectations to what you can actually deliver, and it's pretty impressive in that group. Some of them do wonderfully, but some you really have to kind of tone down what you can promise them.
And I actually think probably there is a big case or an argument for putting such patients in specialist centres. It's not something for everybody. The complication rate's pretty high, wound healing, infection. These people are going to be sick, some of them die 2 or 3 days after operating. Pretty high mortality, if I'm right. Certainly in the high BMI patients.
That's true. Now, you did not present here this year, correct? No. Okay, but you've gone to different ones. Do you have something that you've walked away with? What are you taking home?
Well, I can't say that I don't do the massive weight loss patients. I do pretty much typical, mommy makeovers, things like that. So I'm not in the same category as what, Dr. Ali and Professor are talking about. But anything that helps you take better care of patients, their suggestions, their opinions, helps every plastic surgeon to be a better plastic surgeon.
Why is it important for your patients to know that you're here at this conference? What are you taking home from here?
Well, I think, any physician, whether they're plastic surgeons or not, if we don't keep our education up, if we don't keep up with the latest that's out there, and we don't necessarily have to walk away with everything that we see here and use it back home, but if you're not keeping up with what is on the cutting edge, then you're falling behind. You can't stand still, you'll fall behind. So meetings like this kind of keep you up, and really it stimulates your mind to keep advancing and hopefully doing better and better for your patients, don't you think?
Absolutely.
That's a huge part of coming here.
Yeah, patient safety I think is the paramount, is what we're saying.
Good. All right, Professor Frame, Dr. Wilson, Dr. Ali, thank you so much for joining us. We've really enjoyed having you here today. That is all we have for today for this wrap-up here from the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Deanne Moore for the Plastic Surgery Channel.